Hey there, and thanks for watching. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you two examples of modeling a carried land play using my apartment development model. So I'm using for this exercise my apartment development model version 2.86. You can find a link in the description to download this, or you may be watching this video straight from the tutorials page for my apartment development model. And this is actually a fairly simple exercise. Thinking through a carried land play might be a bit difficult, but when you really get into the analysis, it's fairly simple. Or at least the method I'm going to show you here. So the first method I'm going to talk through is how I would use this model to underwrite a carried land play where I intend to scrape the previous use and replace it with a new use. However, there's a period of time where I will earn income from the existing use. That's the carried land component. Maybe while I'm getting doing the entitlement, or maybe I'm waiting out a lease or what have you. So I'm going to assume for this very first situation that I'll have 12 months of income. So I'll buy the property, I'll have 12 months of some net income, at which point in month 13, the building will be demolished and a new apartment complex will be built on top of it. And to do that, I would use a model like my apartment development model. And the only difference, so I would underwrite the analysis exactly as I would as if this was a ground-up development, except for I would create a line item under my land costs. And think of land costs as the purchase of the property, and it just so happens that there's some income-producing real estate that is on this land. I'm just going to add an item here. And this item I'm going to call existing retail. All right, so let's imagine I have some existing retail piece. And let's say that this existing retail produces a net income every month. So it throws off an existing cash flow before debt of, I don't know, let's say $20,000 a month, such that over a 12-month period, it would throw off $240,000 of cash flow. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a negative budget item in my uses section. So this will be negative $240,000. And what that does is it offsets the project cost cash flows that I have in my uses. Now I say negative $240,000, but I need it to happen starting in month 1 and going over through month 12. And that is basically an offset to my budget cost every month of $20,000. Now that flows down through my DCF and becomes a positive value in my net cash flow. And therefore, if I had some, say, a loan that would help pay the debt service on that loan, perhaps would also offset some construction costs or some entitlement costs or whatever. Now, the next thing is, okay, so my land cost, this would be the purchase of the property. That would happen in month 0. But down here, my hard costs, rather than starting in month 1, I'm not going to begin construction immediately. I'm going to begin construction, say, in month 13. I have those. And then these, let's say, go for, I don't know, for 12 months, something like that. So month 13 through month 24. And then I would do for soft costs, right, I likely have some architecture and engineering probably for the first 18 months. Construction management would start in 13 and go through 24. Marketing and leasing now would likely happen, 19 through 24. And then I come down here. Let's see if there's anything else. Financing fees. I'll have my financing hit in period 0. And there what I've done is I've added this existing retail. This is the carried land play component. And it becomes an offset. Now, this could be much larger. Let's say that there's $500,000 in rent over a year. So I do negative $500,000. Again, that offsets and that makes my total uses, my project budget, $500,000 less than what it would have been had I not done this carried land play. So that's the first option. Again, it's simply saying, okay, I'm going to scrape this building at the end of some period of time, and I earn some income that offset my project costs. The second option is, okay, I have this retail property. I'm going to add, say, an apartment component, but I'm not going to tear down the retail. That will persist. So what I would do there is let me go ahead and delete that existing retail. So now this is just purely a ground up development. I will now have constructions again start in month 1 rather than in month 13. Let's see, there's month 1 and take these back to 8. Let's see, 8 and go to 12. Let's go construction management through 12, marketing and leasing through 12, and I don't know, we'll do 8. You get the idea, all right? So I have those, again, modeled purely as a ground up development, and now I have the apartment component. And all I have to do now is just add the retail component. So I would come down in this particular model to my operating cash flow section, and I'm going to include retail. Now, when I click this include retail button, if you're familiar with the model, what it does is it opens this retail income tab, and on the underwriting tab, it adds a few retail income line items. And those now are cash flow to our operating cash flow as well as to our reversion cash flow lines. Now, the only difference here is instead of, by default, this has the retail starting at the point at which the apartment construction is complete. But since the retail is in place, let's imagine I have Yummy Juice and JoJo's Cafe and Cuts and Stuff. They're in place right now. 100% lease, this retail component. I just simply take the lease start to 1, the rent start to 1. And now, if I come back here, you'll find that even though I don't have any apartment income until the apartment component is complete, I do have retail income starting from day 1. So those are 2 examples of a carried land play and how to simply model it in my apartment development model. Please let me know if you have any questions about this particular exercise. Otherwise, thanks for your time.